No, I'm good.
Mine too, because of the buggery.
All right, everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and we're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Rolling Res Arts Saturday Art Live. My name is Brian Parker. I am the program manager for First People's Fund, Rolling Res Arts program. We have two very special guests. Well, actually, we have a bunch of very special guests tonight, this evening. And I just want to thank them so much for being here. It's a great evening here in South Dakota. It's been over 100 degrees today, so that's been fun, but it's nice at the same time. Anyway, we kind of got started off with some technical difficulties, but that's okay. That happens in this Zoom world we live in. So I'm going to just say please check out First People's Fund's Facebook page and website at www.info@firstpeoplesfund.org to find out more about upcoming events, our other programs, and other good-to-know resources. So without further ado, I will turn it over to Pelena. Take it away.
Aloha. Aloha mai kako. It is a beautiful day here in Kailua Kona. My name is Pelena Keeling. We have a nonprofit organization called Kaulana Napua. We use hula as our foundation, but we also do a lot of malama'aina, which is food sustainability here in Kona, which is a time of need right now for our island because we live on an island. So right now we are on the ahupua of Holualoa here on the Mauna o Hualalai. This is some of our opio, but because of the social distancing, I could only bring a little handful over here. The kumu here is Na'oao Vivas, and he is here to join us, as well as you're going to have a little treat from our modern hula later. But at this time, our performance is called Back to Basics. With this pandemic happening, we know how important it is for our ancestors to guide us through this time, and trying to be as sustainable, especially on an island where a lot of our food is being imported, over 90% of it. So we teach our kids, our opio, that we're going to be sustainable on an island because our kupuna or our ancestors did it. So why back to basics? Because we got to learn all over again, even in hula. So you're going to see some basic hula steps that we use, mostly in our kahiko, which is our older ways of hula, as well as our modern hula. So at this time, our opio will be dancing, and try and watch those steps because we're going to use it later. Okay, here we go. Aholo. Kaholo is one of our basic hulas, which kaholo means to move. So when our dancers move, or our olapa, it takes us into the journey of our mo'olelo, or our stories. Wehe, pa. The wehe is one of the hardest parts. It makes our thighs sore, but it's great cardios, great exercise. This is the uehe. Hela. So our hela is one of our another basic, which this can be moved out of place as well. We'll keep them there in the screen. Ami. Now the ami is one of those famous where you move your hips, but they need to bend their knees a little more, I believe. Yes. And this is called an aiha'a. Aiha'a. And this is when you do hula, you bend your knees, it makes the hips move naturally. And they're smiling through the pain, aren't they? Ka'o pa. Now, ka'o is a swaying of the hips. And that is all in a cool position or when you sit straight up. And this is the O, 5, 6, 7, up. O. Okay. Everybody all together. Here's the difference, okay? So you're gonna go ka'o, pa. O. Ka'o, pa. O. Kaholo. You remember that? The kaholo? It's gonna come in handy. Watch it. Huli, huli, ha. Huli. Smiling through all that pain. Isn't that beautiful? They should be. Hello. So that is your hula basics. But at this time, we want to show you the difference. Right now is a hula kahiko. This is an ipoheke. So an ipoheke is usually one of the main instruments for our hula, and it is mainly used in the kahiko hula, or the, what do you call that? Ancient hula? Oh, okay, that's the English word, ancient hula. Okay, or the ancient dance. So at this time, they're gonna do a mele called Ayala Opele, and we're gonna have Naoao talk about this mele and our goddess Pele. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's from this island, but the other side, the other Mauna. Yes.
So aloha mai, I'm Naoao. I'm actually going to tell you a little short snippet of the story. It's a story and it's a chant that we had from hundreds of years ago. This is part of that story where Pele comes from Kahiki, from Bora Bora to Hawaii. She travels all the different islands trying to find a home. And her whole purpose for leaving was because of her sister, Namako Kahai, where when Pele was learning fire through her fire sticks from her uncle Lono Makua, she accidentally burned down her sister's forest. So her mom and her dad told her, you know what, you better get out of here because we don't want to see any of this drama. Anyway, Pele ended up leaving Kahiki, coming to Hawaii. But she was still connected to Hawaii. That family is the same family as ours in Hawaii too. So when she arrived in Hawaii, she couldn't find a home. And when she came to our island, when she got to Maui, basically her spirit left her body when her sister caught up with her, Namako Kahai, and this, we call him a mo'okai, or a sea serpent that caught up with Pele, and they went to battle and destroyed her physical body. Until today, we have a hill that is named after her bones that was left in Maui. From there, on our island, on this side, we could see her spirit traveling over to Hawaii. And from Hawaii, she was able to find a few places and finally rested in Halima'uma'u on Mauna Loa, one of our biggest mountain, the mountain we sit on now too. But she lives on the east side right now. And so this mele, there's very, very many meles about her and her stories. But one story relates to her, which the kids will be dancing in a little while. And Ayala o Pele speaks of Pele when she arrives to Hawaii. She befriends a guy in Kauai, and his name was Lohi'au. In her dream, she tells her sisters, before she goes to sleep, she tells her sisters, if I sleep more than 3 days, wake me up. And because she was who she was, all of them were scared of her. And so when she went in her dream, she slept for more than 3 days because she fell in love with this chief of Kauai. And when he came back, on their way back, Pele felt that something was going on between her sister Hi'iaka Ikapolio Pele and this guy Lohi'au, because it took so long for her to get back, to bring him back to her. Because when she got up in her dream, that was her charge to all her sisters, is to go get him and bring him back to me. Well, because of that, she actually took, her promise to Hi'iaka Ikapolio Pele, who went to go get Lohi'au, was that she would take care of her best friend's forest, Hopoi's forest, down in Puna on the east side of our island. But because they took so long, she was upset. And she went down with her lava and took out the forest and took out everything that Hopoi belonged to, including Hopoi, her best friend. And so in this mele, it speaks of how Pele went about to do that. And it speaks of the different areas of Puna. It names the ancient areas of Puna. And it speaks of how the Pele, we call the lava Pele also, right, in Hawaiian. And it speaks specifically how the lava went from Kilauea down to the forest, and the way it twisted and turned and how it exploded. And so you'll see in the hula, it describes the character of Pele, her movement going into the forest, her movement going down into this area where she decided to destroy. And so if you watch the hula, you'll actually see it. The girls should actually be telling you the story of what I just said through their movement. And if you notice in their hula, their bottom torso and their top torso is pretty much separated, where the bottom part mostly moves more than the top. And they should be doing that for this mele, especially in a kahiko, in a aiha'a style or a low postured style hula, right?
Yeah. And so it's so hard for him to translate that into English, but he's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So this mele entitled Ayala o Pele.
I
Ayala opele Hawaii, Adea mai.
Ayala opele.
Ayala opele Hawaii, Adea mai.
Uhi uha.
Uhi uha, mayanaya, rayomea elaya punai.
Uhi uha.
Uhi uha, mayanaya, rayomea elaya punai.
Melanie.
Otamea nani kae paliongi, kepulelo a elana balie.
Oh, Melanie.
Otamea nani kae paliongi, kepulelo a elana balie.
Aya kupalana.
Aya kapalena ima oie, aina atanula.
Aya kupalana.
Aya kapalena ima oie, aina atanula.
Ihea.
Ihe atawala ia la nuila
Ihea.
ihe atawala ia la nuila
Aina. Hey no no. Hi'iaka I kapoli o pele.
And that is Pele. At this time, what we're going to do is we're going to transition from the kahiko or the ancient hula into the more modern or the awana. The awana is done in a more the party style, and it's accompanied not by the ipoheke, but it's accompanied by the ukulele. And back in the day when we had a lot of the plantation workers and everybody shared their food, their mea, and we still do that today. No, well, not today because of the COVID, sorry. So we don't share food. But we also shared our different ethnic backgrounds, and it was actually the Spaniards who brought over the ukulele, yeah? And they introduced it to the Hawaiians, and the Hawaiians took it to a very different level. So with the kahiko, we use the ipu, and it's very bombastic. It's a very ancient, yeah. And so we want to show the difference of the awana mele and the basics of hula, and we're gonna do just a couple. So what we want to do is right after they do that, should we teach them a mele?
Yeah, we should.
We should teach you a mele. How is that?
Yes.
So we'll show you a couple of the basic moves, and then we're gonna have you stand up. How is that? Sounds good? Yeah, I think so. Okay, here.
Okay.
So at this time, we have our musician, Kamakane and Lyle. Come. This is our ukuleles.
Aloha.
It took them a while. They're only right here. But this is the ukulele. And this is what is accompanied by our awana, our olapa, and our dancers. Can you see that? Yeah. It's pretty good. It's pretty, I'm going to learn to make one soon. So there we will see the difference between the awana and the kahiko. And we're going to do a little bit of different hula basics. Here we go. Let's start with, come forward so they can see you. Can you see them well? And if everybody wants to stand up, stand up.
Join.
Come on, join us. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna bend our knees. Okay, we're gonna bend our knees. Okay, and even the kane, the men can do it. Can we see the kane? Yeah. Okay, here we go. And so we're gonna kahulu. kaholo means to move, but this is going to be much more graceful. Okay? And here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2. It's like a 4-step. You see it? The men don't move their hips as much as the women. You know. Okay? And this is where they put on their pretty smiles and their beautiful lipstick when it comes in on the barge. Okay? Okay, here he comes. Yeah, put the kani in the middle. Okay. And I think that's pretty much what we're going to do. We're going to use the Olamana, right? I mean, the kaholo. Okay? So when we first heard this song, we think, okay, we're listening to the ukulele. And when do we start? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to go ehuli. Okay? It's called ehuli. Okay, and this is, we're going to just show it one time, and then we're going to break it down. Okay? Here we go. Are you going to and the ummi. Okay, we're going to ummi. And your eyes and your hands and your beautiful body. And we give our aloha to you. Okay? Ehuli means to turn. And return. This is the ummi. Remember the ummi we tried? And your eyes and your hands. And your beautiful body. And we give you all aloha. Okay, that was the first verse. Okay, is everybody participating? Can we see? Okay, I can't see you, but you can see me. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use, if you notice, it was a kaholos and it was ummis. Okay, so we're gonna kaholo, and that is our vamp. And what is our vamp? Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8, and we're gonna hop up and down. Okay, and keep going. Okay, that is your vamp. Okay, and then we're gonna huli, which means to turn. Okay, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna step right and step left. Okay, here we go. And then, okay, and then now the ummis. And we're gonna go all the way around the island. And kaholi. And your kaholo. Okay? Okay, you got that? You got that? Are we dancing? Brian, do I see you dancing? I don't see you dancing. Okay. Okay, let's go over that one more time. Okay, here we go. 5, 6. Ami. Okay, you got that? You got it. I know you have it. So if you notice that their hands are moving like this, you know when we were little, they used to say, put a pencil in. And then you roll the pencil. And it becomes very graceful, and afterwards it becomes very, very easy. Okay, so now the second verse is imua. Imua is to go forward. So they're gonna, are you paddling forward? We're paddling forward. Okay, so imua means to go forward. Here we go. And it's all kaholo. It's hapakala counts. Here we go. Here we go. Imua. Imua. And one more time. we're just stepping. And but we're moving our hips. And in our eyes again. And prepare. You step. Second verse. Bimua. Okay, are we ready for the third verse? Okay, so we have, if you go forward, there's balance. Okay, so the next verse is Ipoheke. Ipoheke means to come down. Come here, come. Okay, so it is kaholos. It's kaholos. We learned the kaholos. Okay, Brian, you ready? Okay, here we go. Okay, now again. Your eyes and your hands. Okay, let's do that again. Here we go. And your that was the second verse. Now, hyena. Hyena is always repeating our story. So this is my story of the love of our eyes, our hands, and our life. You see the ring? She's coming now. But you know what? It's okay. Hula is discipline. Discipline. Don't move. Just keep on laughing. Rain or shine. Smile, rain or shine. We don't have snow here, except for Mauna Kea. But other than that, just keep on laughing. It's just watering the mountains. So now, hyena. Hyena talks about our story. Okay? So here we go. And then it's, come on. Okay, so it's going to go mouth and out. Okay? And mouth and out. Okay, here we go. Hyena. Now we're going to go around. Let's do hyena all. Here we go. This concludes our story. So now that we got the mele, do we have it? Brian, I know you have it. Now I'm going to go on the other side and I'm going to watch you dance it all by yourself. I'm just kidding. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put it all together and we're going to dance the whole hula. Now make sure you bend your knees. Okay? Don't forget to bend your knees. Okay? And smile. Smile through it. Smile through it all, okay? So here we go. We're ready. Let's go!
Excuse us, folks. We seem to be having some sort of technical difficulties. The performers, the dancers, and musicians and storytellers are all up on a mountain right now, so the connection is a little tough, but we'll just give them a... Oh, here they come, right back on.
Let's see.
And we're back. I'm sorry, I have no idea. Technical difficulties, the Mauna, she was done. But I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. We cannot say enough how we here in Hawaii, we are, we're fighting it just like you. Although we are together here, I know that we are safe and we continue to be safe, and we will get through this. So what I have and I suggest for each and every one of you is just mask up and follow the guidelines, only because our kupuna is at risk. Our elders are at risk. And although we have young ones and they might not be at risk, they can still be carriers. And we cherish our kupuna here, because if we do not take care of our kupuna, we lose all of our mo'olelos or our stories. So from a request from Kailoa Kona, Hawaii, on the island of Mokuoke'awe, we want to mahalo each and every one of you. Stay safe, and we shall see you again. Oli mahalo. Oli mahalo. We'd like to leave you with our mahalo.
E kaualoha vale maila ka uae. Ka mauna o ka li'ua. I kualoha me ka mahalo. Aloha, aloha e kaualoha vale maila ka uae. Ka mauna o ka hali'upua. I hualoha me ka mahalo. Aloha, aloha
Aloha.
Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate you. Thank you to all the dancers and the musicians and the storytellers and everyone else there helping with the camera and just enjoying life right now. It's very beautiful. I just can't thank you enough, all of you. Right now, I'm going to turn it over to our uh, performing artist for this evening, um, and I will let him introduce himself. And so, Jeff, it's all yours.
All right. Well, aloha kako, aloha everyone. And that was such a beautiful performance, such an inspiration to see from one area called Kailua in Hawaii. I live in another area of Kailua on the island of Oahu. Kailua meaning two waters. There are two sources of water here up Mauka, up in the mountains. And I play a tradition of guitar that comes from Hawaii here, and it's called kiho alu, or slack key guitar, where we take the guitar and tune differently. Like the ukulele was brought in, the Spanish brought in the guitars, and the vaqueros came to Hawaii Island to manage a population of cattle there. And they started this wonderful tradition that I grew up with this tradition on Maui. My father was a Paniolo, or a Hawaiian cowboy. And so the cowboy tradition started on Hawaii Island, then moved to the other islands. With it came this type of guitar playing. And thinking that I'm here on the island of Oahu, and we just saw a beautiful performance up at Hualalai of Mauka, Kailua Kona side of Hawaii Island, I thought I'd play a piece. I thought, well, there's actually a piece that describes the journey of a sailing ship going from Honolulu across the Alanui Haha Channel, this bumpy channel on a day like today where the wind is really, the trade winds are blowing strong. It's a bumpy channel to get over there to Kona. So the song really is about Kona, but it's about the journey getting there from where I am now. So a little bit of Hawaiian kiho alo for you, a piece that is called He Aloha no o Honolulu. write a piece called He Aloha no o Honolulu. And I hope everyone can see me fine out there. I'm just going to click on my image to make sure it's being, there, now it's featured on my computer. And so aloha once again. I want to send my deepest gratitude out to the First Peoples Fund for all they do for artists and cultural practitioners all over the U.S. mainland and here in Hawaii. And I had a wonderful experience actually going to Santa Fe for a convening for when I was one of the fellows with First Peoples Fund. And I made some dear friends there that I still collaborate with, and I'm so grateful for all that they do, and so happy to share my music today with First Peoples Fund. So I changed what we do a lot with slack keys. We have many different tunings that are used. So I just changed a few tuning keys, and kiho alu means to loosen or slack the key. So I just changed a couple strings, and now the guitar is completely different tuning. This is a very low tuning. It's a wahine tuning that was made popular by Keola Beamer. He did a lot of work in this tuning. And I'll play a piece that he wrote, another Hawaii Island song, thinking about Mauna Kea, and it's a piece called The Beauty of Mauna Kea. There's been a struggle to preserve the top of the mountain, and this piece, it was written back in the early 70s, but it's very poignant today. All right, that was a song about the island of Hawaii and the beautiful Mauna Kea, the mountain Mauna Kea. And once again, I'm here in Kailua on the island of Oahu, and so happy to be here with you sharing some music and this tradition of Hawaiian slack key. And maybe I'll tune up again and I'll show you the variety of tunings that we use. Raising up a couple strings, lowering a few others. Now I'm in a minor tuning, and I'll play a piece that I adapted from an ancient oli, a chant that was about Queen Emma and her love of riding horseback on the island of Oahu. And Nalani Eha, the royal family here in the Hawaiian monarchy of Kalakaua, Liliuokalani, Leleohoku, and Princess Like Like, were all very prolific composers, and their music is still a big, important part of the Hawaiian music tradition. And so there's some beautiful music that comes from that late 19th century that's still a very important part of our music today. And from the transition from what you heard of the kahiko and the oli, the ancient music, with the more modern hula kui and the love songs that were written. And so this piece, it traces its roots back to that ancient sound. And so I mix that in with some of the modern guitar techniques and tunings. And I call this Paniolo Soul. I have to raise one string up. Anytime you do this, changing the strings, the resonance of the guitar is completely different. It's so exciting. We probably have about 20 or 30 tunings that are used all the time, and then lots of variations from there. I write a piece in a minor tuning called Paniolo Soul, and it's something I adapted from an ancient Olea chant. And from this tuning, I can lower a couple more strings, and I'll play another song for the windward side of Oahu, the side of the island that I'm on now. And this is a piece that was written by Jerry Santos, and he was in a group called Olamana. And as I look out my window from where I live, I can look up at the slopes, these two peaks of Olamana, very close to the Ko'olau mountain range in the background. And this piece, written by that group and Jerry Santos, speaks of a beautiful, beautiful place up against the Ko'olau mountains, a place we call Kahalu'u. Piece called Ku'uhome o Kahalu'u, my home in Kahalu'u. right, a piece called Ku'uhomeo Kahalu'u, and this is played in a tuning that the great artist Jerry Santos made popular here in Hawaii. And Santos, the Portuguese heritage, is really, really strong in the islands. And where I grew up in the town of Makawao on Maui, there were many of the Hawaiian cowboys there, the Paniolos. And I grew up on the ranch there, Halakala Ranch. And so I grew up hearing this wonderful music. And the ukulele actually came from the Portuguese. They brought it in, this instrument called the braguinha in 1879, when the different people worked here, working on the sailing ships and working on plantations. Wonderful cultures came and mixed together here in Hawaii. And so I'll end with a last song about the Portuguese heritage, and a great artist named Sonny Chillingworth made this popular. And it's a piece called Shamarita. All right, well, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And it's great to spend some time with you. Once again, a huge mahalo, and just want to express my gratitude to the First Peoples Fund for all the great things they do. and is very happy to share some music with you today. So aloha.
Thank you so much, Jeff. We really appreciate your time and sharing of your cultural knowledge and your talent. That was just a beautiful guitar, and that,
Thank you so much.
that really made my evening, as well as the performance from Pelena. So thank you so much, and just wish you the very best and have a great weekend.
Thank you. Aloha.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. That concludes our Saturday Art Live for today. Please tune in for upcoming events and other good to know resources. Check First People's Fund website out at info@firstpeoplesfund.org to check out about our programs and, like I said, upcoming events and other good to know resources. Thank you all for tuning in, and please just continue to take care of one another out there and be safe. Thank you all. Good night.